On the Spot Reviews. Hello, Magic Rye,
Spartan Steve.
and
Sergeant Satire.
yeah,
What's that? That's
What?
right. We have a guest.
My real name is Shane, if you want to call
he
me
doesn't have a real name.
Okay, Shane. Don't worry about it.
that. He acknowledges me.
This is our second guest on the Spot Reviews, and I believe Shane wants to do the flip this time.
Not really.
People like us.
Well, he might flip and not screw up like
But
us.
I'll give it a go. So who's heads, who's tails?
I say we're heads.
We're definitely heads.
And if it lands on tails, you make us reviews.
I want it to land on tails.
All right. So let's hope. I was doing this a lot and it was working. So
All right. Better than us.
damn.
Tails.
So,
Oof.
so that's me.
That is
So,
you.
so now we make.
You make us
Yeah,
review
yeah,
something.
You
You
make
guys
us
know the rules. Okay. So
Yeah.
I make
We don't
you.
even
I
know
make
our
you.
We
rules.
don't
review.
even know our own
Yeah.
rules.
You get it. You can review along with us, but if you could just stick to questions.
I probably have things to
Okay.
say.
Go
But
ahead.
I think both of you have played it. It's Paper Mario for the N64.
Never.
No. I've
Yeah, I played it.
Oh, he's good at sarcasm.
Yeah.
I love it. Love
I
it.
should be sarcasm satire. Wait.
Yep.
You know what? This is actually a really close call because Magic Rye is not inept with the other Paper Mario's or the other Mario's. It's, like,
It's the only
it's
one I really
Paper
know.
Mario on game.
The first one.
64.
The
Yeah,
first one.
yeah, that he's played. I don't think you've played it all the way through.
No, I haven't. I've never beaten it actually, but that's okay. I've played it enough that I can relate. So, got any questions?
Got any
lined up
questions
for
about
Ken?
this game?
Like general impressions. If you had to sum up your thoughts on the game, like how would you say?
It's a really basic RPG that's easy to just get into. It's it's a lot of fun, and there's good humor. There's a lot of creativity.
It's also super different from any other Mario game. I
Yeah.
mean, there's like nothing in common with any other Mario game other than the bad guys, more or less.
It's actually
Yeah.
my favorite Mario game.
ever.
I'd say, yeah.
Ever? Thousand Year Door?
I'm gonna get torn apart by the internet, but I don't like it as much.
That's okay.
But that's a different.
That's okay.
Video.
It's the Majora's Mask of Paper Mario's.
It's
It's
not
like
even-
it's the indie Paper.
It's not even
Mario.
that. It was like indie. It was just kind of all over the place for me. Like you do the first temple, but then like the second one with those little tiny things.
I stand by. If you've played the GameCube one first, you like it better than me.
That's fair. I think it's like that with a lot of games, but
You hold this one very dear, huh? Like you've played it
Yeah.
since it come out.
Yeah.
Same.
It's in my top 10 easily.
is it like a yearly play for you?
Like
that
on
good?
average, yeah.
You'd say?
I play it once a year.
It's good. It's good. I have a childhood with it too. I've played it since it came out, and it came out in 2001. So the PS2 was already out, and the GameCube was on its way. And I didn't like go to the other consoles right away yet because I was like, oh, but this game's still awesome.
I still like the weird controller.
You know what's actually great about it? The graphics.
Yeah.
They like
They are.
the N64 was kind of that 3D era where like they had no idea how to do graphics in 3D. So like, you know what? Why don't we go off of what we know from previous gens and just sort of do our own thing? So they created this paper art style, and it still looks good.
Not only that, like the coloring was so good. That's what I found most impressive about the game when I first played it. Like how great the colors were. Like as opposed, like not to say that N64 didn't have great coloring schemes.
Mario 64.
Banjo-Kazooie.
I mean, Banjo-Kazooie. There was several games that did have great color schemes, but everything, like in the N64 universe, kind of looked very polygon-esque.
Yeah.
And this was like more of a perfect, like beautiful art kind of look.
It looked like paper.
It-
Art, literally. But like
Yeah.
the funny thing about that, I don't know if you know this, is it was being called like Super Mario RPG 2 for a long time.
Yeah.
And then like somewhere in development, I think they like saw it and like one of them was like, yeah, that kind of looks like paper. I swear. This
Okay,
is-
see that's the thing. People call it paper. I call it 64-bit.
Yeah.
Like 16-bit and 8-bit, it's always in like a 2D plane, and this is sort of the 2D plane character
It's
model.
really cool.
But what makes the graphics hold up is that it's not making these really difficult environments. You got your flat surfaces, and then you've got your cutesy sort of like background drawings, which look like paper.
That's-
It's almost like if you've ever played the game Kirby's Epic Yarn, it kind of drew from Paper Mario.
Mhm.
You ever-
I
you ever played
I
Epic
can
Yarn?
agree with that actually.
Except in that game,
You don't want to kill
you
him.
can't kill the billion.
Can't.
You just told the controller,
No,
no,
I
I don't
know.
want to. I don't want
I
to.
can't play.
But I think that was sort of an important thing about Paper Mario is that it went first out and said, what's really gonna look good and people haven't seen yet? I think a game that's kind of similar in a sense is Yoshi's Island. I know that's Super Nintendo era, but like it's sort of like that pixel perfect, and it puts black outlines around the characters so that it looks.
A lot of Super Nintendo games still look really good.
Most Super Nintendo games look better than N64 games, or at least haven't aged.
Because they look like old paintings when they move.
Yeah,
so I know, but they tried more for the two. Well, of course, and the SNES was all 2D, so it was easier to. I don't know, because with the N64 they tried this whole polygon thing, I mentioned it earlier. They tried this whole polygon thing, and it kind of took a step back in gaming, but a step forward at the same time. Well, it's confusing. But...
Yeah. Another thing is Paper Mario didn't have to like worry about complicated like facial features. Like you see a Bowser, like he's got like pretty much 3 positions. It's the standing one, the one where he's like punching you, and then the one where he's like being attacked.
Yeah.
And like that's the 3 that they stick to. It's like sometimes he looks this way, sometimes he looks
but
that
they
way.
speak
And
wonders in like when they're used.
Yeah. So that's kind of why it works and why it holds up. Gameplay wise,
it's a lot of fun.
It's not a lot like other RPGs. Like you get experience and you can get a better weapon, but when you level up, you're not like leveling up your attack and your defense and your speed. It's like it's health, your badge points, and like
your magic points.
Your magic
it's
points.
called your flower points.
Nintendo. Yeah, but like it had this complicated badge system, so everyone played it differently. That's what I liked.
It was simple, but it was still just deep enough.
There's also a lot to do, so it made it exciting. I mean, there's so much to do.
Remember that little like pig farm thing?
Yeah.
You guys ever find that? It was like
And they're not paper.
Yeah.
They're actual polygons that look good.
Yeah,
they
they had to screw with you a little.
Yeah. The thing that worried me the most was because it was all paper and stuff. I was like, how complicated can you actually make this big world? And it ended up being huge, diverse. You can go to pipes, get to different parts of the world.
It's a
or
massive
the town.
game. It's massive.
Yeah, it is, and there's so many options. Honestly, it was one of the biggest games for its time. I mean, with the variety of things you could do. It's a lot of fun.
Every little nook and cranny had like a secret, like, and that was the cool thing. Like you were talking about, like the 2D, 3D. Like sometimes like the camera would shift if you went behind something.
Exactly. Oh, that was
like,
so cool. I
like
loved when they would do that.
One part in like the desert, there's like this alleyway, and like you like go like just out of curiosity, like can I go behind there? And you can, and then the camera turns, and it's like it's so neat.
Oh, and it looked like it was like a book page almost, like you're going through like around the corner.
Oh, so.
Quick side note I think is really funny about the whole paper art style is South Park is very much paper-esque, and if you ever play South Park: The Stick of Truth, it's like very much inspired by Paper Mario. It's got the same sort of like
it's like the
world exploration. Like it's not 3D graphics, but it looks great.
You know what? Actually, I've played Stick of Truth several times, and I'd actually compare it more with Mario RPG than I would with Paper Mario.
Oh, because it's got more.
Yeah, because it's also like kind of the Final Fantasy kind of fighting style.
Yeah.
So.
Party members were cool in Paper Mario. My one big complaint, and you know what I'm about to say, is when you get a new party member, you see how awesome he is, you never go back to your other ones. So all your old party members are just throwaways. Like you might go back to Parakarry, but like as soon as you get Lady Bo,
it's only when you have to use them, and it's like, oh god.
Are you ever gonna use Goombario again?
Well, like, I was talking with you the other day about this. Like, wouldn't it be funny if like you're in Bowser's Castle at the end and you pull Goombario out just for the giggles, and like you just like, oh, what's going on here? He's just like mad. He's like, how come I've been in your pocket for like these last 9 months? He's like, why have I
actually? On that note, one thing I thought was really cool is that your rival in the game, Junior Troopa.
Yeah, that was.
Every time you like go up to him, your party member would go, "Oh, who's this kid? Is he lost or something?" But depending on which character you have switched out, the dialogue's different.
Yep.
So if you actually have Goombario out, he'd be like, "I know that guy. You cause a lot of trouble and shit."
Incentive to play the game like 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's
playthrough.
Replayability is fantastic. We haven't actually asked you any, let us ask any questions, but we're kind of just like,
we're just
broad context talking about.
Well, I'm a guest here. These guys run the show.
I feel like you chose it because you wanted to review it as well.
Yeah,
but I've
never done that though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in terms of replayability, I mean, I'm sure this would have been a question from Shane, but stop laughing. Sorry. No. No, but in terms of replayability, this game is fantastic. I personally have never beaten it all the way. I'd say I probably got through like more than half of it.
Also, it's got a little bit of a slow beginning. You can't play it with people, obviously.
You can.
What?
You can.
I disagree.
You totally
No,
can.
no, you can play it with people who've played the game.
Yes.
Like, do you know this
Yes.
secret?
You
I
don't.
didn't know that.
You don't want to play with like a new person,
Like-
because then it's gonna get
Like
boring.
if I was playing with you and like a part you haven't done yet, and I'm like, go there, it'd be
yeah,
annoying.
I'd be
right?
like, oh
yeah.
yeah, I don't know what to
Yeah.
do.
I think you would be more annoyed by Thousand Year Door if you had played it with me.
Yes.
You wouldn't-
I would. When you're talking to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never played Thousand Year Door.
I didn't think that's.
Well,
I'm
so
sorry.
now I'm
as-
not gonna play it.
As far as
Thanks to
fa-
Shane's comments.
As
Right.
far as favorite Mario game goes, I would say top 5. I actually like Super Mario RPG a little more. I know you haven't played it, but it's awesome. But I do think this Paper Mario holds up compared to the rest. I do like it better than Thousand Year Door, Super Paper Mario, and Sticker Star for the 3DS.
I'm sorry, but we said this in an earlier review with Mario Galaxy, but I have to say that so many Mario games, you just can't compare them to other ones because they're totally different. Just
It's a different team. I even think
different
Paper
everything.
Mario is a different character
It
than
is.
regular Mario because he's played off so differently.
It's not even just
Mario
that.
split timeline.
We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna.
That's
do
for
the
another
whole-
video.
Yeah, we're not gonna do the Kingdom Hearts chronology thing.
Whoa.
No, but
no, but like he's introduced differently. Like I
Yeah.
never go, oh, Mario's one of my favorite characters. But every time I see Paper Mario, I'm like, oh, look at that guy.
But I do get what Ryan's saying. Like you can't compare them. Like one he's paper, one he's in space, one he's playing golf. And
one
it's
is
just like
tennis, baseball,
Yeah.
racing
You're
cars.
like, Super Mario World's better than Paper Mario. Like
there's one where he's missing altogether.
it's an educational
Yeah.
game.
There's one where his brother goes through a mansion.
That one's awesome.
Yeah,
I
that
love
one's
that.
pretty
One.
That's a great game.
Oh, we're not saying the names. They have to figure it out.
No.
Okay, so since Shane doesn't know how this goes, we're gonna rate it on, I guess, a scale from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Steve, what would you give it? What would you give Paper Mario?
Paper Mario is like a 9.5 in my books, and I would have given it a 9 like had I played it now, and it was my first time. But the reality is, it's been 14 years since that game came out, and it still holds up. Like I could play it right now if you wanted me to. It's a blast.
I guess I'm gonna agree with it. Again, I'm not a great source because I haven't played the whole game, but I played enough of it to say that I agree with Steve. And it holds up really nicely. It's cool to play with people who've played it.
Yeah.
It's cool to play with people.
No, I played it recently with another friend.
The
It was a blast.
artwork is amazing. It's fun. Yeah, so 9.5 on the spot reviews. Sergeant Satire. Thank you.
Thank you.
I give it 10 space dolphins guarding the universe out of 10 space dolphins guarding the universe.
And Antonio Banderas,
Yeah,
the bad
yeah.
guy. All right.
I'm
Take
sure it's
care.
good.